The air crackles with anticipation. Whispers turn into roars in the cafes of Paris, the pubs of Marseille. Euro 2024 is almost here. Fans across the continent are buzzing, their hearts thrumming to the rhythm of the beautiful game. From the bustling streets of London to the sun-drenched piazzas of Rome, everyone's talking football. But the epicenter of this excitement, France bien sûr. The hosts, Les Bleus, are ready to reclaim their crown. Didier Deschamps, the mastermind behind their 2018 World Cup triumph, has assembled a squad brimming with talent. The weight of expectation rests heavy on their shoulders. Can they handle the pressure? Can they replicate the magic of Russia on home soil? This is more than just a tournament. This is personal. This is France, and the world is watching. France's squad is a tantalizing blend of seasoned veterans and rising stars. The spine of the team remains intact from their World Cup victory. Hugo Lloris, the captain, still commands the defense with his experience and agility. Raphael Varane and Lucas Hernandez provide a formidable barrier in front of him. Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante, the engine room of the team, are back to dictate play from the middle of the park. But there are new faces too, eager to make their mark. Eduardo Camavinga, the young Rennes prodigy, brings his youthful exuberance to the midfield. Jules Koundé, the Sevilla defender, adds steel and composure to the backline. And then there's Kylian Mbappe, but more on him later. Deschamps has a wealth of talent at his disposal, but the key to their success will be finding the right balance. Can he blend the experience of the old guard with the dynamism of the new generation? Can he create a team that is greater than the sum of its parts? The answer, my friends, will unfold on the pitch.
The midfield is where battles are won and lost, and France's engine room is nothing short of world class. Paul Pogba, with his vision and passing range, can unlock defenses with a single touch. N'Golo Kante, the tireless ball winner, will be everywhere, snuffing out attacks before they even begin. But there's a delicate balance to be struck. Both Pogba and Kante like to operate in similar areas of the pitch. Deschamps needs to find a way to maximize their effectiveness without stepping on each other's toes. One solution could be to deploy Pogba in a more advanced role, allowing him to dictate play from deeper and unleash his creative passing. The emergence of Eduardo Camavinga adds another layer of intrigue. The young midfielder is a prodigious talent, capable of both breaking up play and driving forward with the ball. He provides Deschamps with a dynamic option, either as a starter or as an impact substitute. The midfield battle will be crucial in determining France's fate. Can Pogba and Kante rediscover their World Cup winning form? Can Camavinga live up to his immense potential? The answers to these questions could very well decide who lifts the trophy.
The return of N'Golo Kante is a major boost for France. The Chelsea midfielder missed the 2022 World Cup through injury, leaving a gaping hole in the heart of the French midfield. His absence was keenly felt as France struggled to control games and dictate the tempo. Kante is a unique player, a true anomaly in modern football. He is the ultimate midfield destroyer, capable of winning the ball back time and time again, but he is also deceptively good on the ball, able to launch attacks with his incisive passing. His return gives France a different dimension. He allows Pogba to focus on his strengths, creating chances and dictating the tempo. He provides a shield for the defense, allowing them to play with more freedom. And he brings an infectious energy and work ethic to the team. If Kante can stay fit and rediscover his best form, France will be a formidable force in this tournament. He is the key that unlocks their true potential.
Section 5. Defensive stalwarts and flying fullbacks. France's defence is a blend of experience and youthful exuberance. Hugo Lloris, the captain, remains a reliable presence between the sticks. Raphael Varane and Lucas Hernandez provide a formidable barrier in central defence, their partnership forged in the fires of the 2018 World Cup. But it's the fullback positions that offer the most intrigue. Benjamin Pavard, the right back, is a solid defender with a knack for scoring spectacular goals. On the opposite flank, Theo Hernandez has emerged as one of the most exciting young fullbacks in world football. His blistering pace and attacking instincts make him a constant threat down the left. Deschamps has the option of deploying a more defensively solid fullback like Jules Koundé if needed. Koundé's versatility allows him to slot in at either centre-back or right-back, providing cover and tactical flexibility. France's defensive strength will be crucial in navigating the knockout stages. Can they maintain their composure under pressure? Can they withstand the onslaught of Europe's best attackers? If they can, they have the quality to go all the way.
Section 6. The Benzema conundrum, a void yet to be filled. The elephant in the room, or rather the missing striker on the pitch, is Karim Benzema. The reigning Ballon d'Or winner retired from international football after the World Cup, leaving a void that France has yet to fill. Benzema's absence robs France of a clinical finisher and a creative force in the final third. He was the focal point of their attack, the player who could unlock defenses with a moment of magic. Olivier Giroud, the veteran striker, is likely to lead the line in Benzema's absence. Giroud offers a physical presence and an aerial threat, but he lacks the finesse and creativity of Benzema. Other options include Kingsley Coman, Ousmane Dembélé and Christopher Nkunku. These players offer pace and trickery on the wings, but none of them possess the same goal-scoring pedigree as Benzema. Replacing Benzema is an impossible task. France will need to find a way to compensate for his absence, either by committee or by unearthing a new star.
Section 7. Will Mbappe shine on home soil? All eyes will be on Kylian Mbappe, the poster boy of French football. The PSG superstar is arguably the most exciting player in the world, capable of breathtaking speed, skill, and finishing. Mbappe announced himself on the world stage at the 2018 World Cup, scoring the winning goal in the final at the tender age of 19. He has only gotten better since then, terrorizing defenses in Ligue 1 and the Champions League. The pressure on Mbappe's shoulders will be immense. He will be expected to carry the hopes of a nation, to deliver the goals that will fire France to glory. The home crowd will be right behind him, their cheers echoing around the stadiums. Can Mbappe rise to the occasion and cement his status as a global icon, or will the pressure prove too much?
One of the most exciting aspects of this French squad is the blend of youth and experience. Alongside the established stars, there are several young players eager to make their mark on the international stage. Eduardo Camavinga, the 20-year-old midfield prodigy, has already shown glimpses of his immense potential. His energy, tenacity, and passing range make him a valuable asset in the middle of the park. Jules Koundé, the 24-year-old defender, is another player to watch. His composure, athleticism, and tactical intelligence have earned him comparisons with Raphael Varane. These young players bring a freshness and dynamism to the squad. They are hungry for success and eager to prove themselves on the biggest stage. Could one of them emerge as the breakout star of the tournament?
France enter Euro 2024 as one of the favourites. Their squad is packed with talent, they have a proven winner in Didier Deschamps at the helm, and they will be buoyed by the home crowd. However, the road to glory is never smooth. The competition will be fierce, with teams like England, Germany and Spain all harbouring ambitions of lifting the trophy. France will need to be at their best to navigate the group stages and the knockout rounds. They will need to find a way to replace the goals and creativity of Karim Benzema, and they will need to handle the pressure of being the home team. If they can do all that, they have every chance of repeating their 2018 triumph, but it will be far from easy.
Playing at home brings its own unique set of pressures. The expectations of the fans, the scrutiny of the media, the weight of history, it can all take its toll on a team. France will need to find a way to embrace the pressure and use it to their advantage. They need to feed off the energy of the crowd, to channel the hopes of a nation into positive performances on the pitch. The players will need to be mentally strong. They will need to block out the noise and focus on the task at hand. They will need to believe in themselves and in each other. If France can handle the pressure, they have the talent and the experience to go all the way. But if they allow the occasion to get to them, they could be in for a disappointing tournament.
So there you have it, a glimpse into the French national team as they prepare to embark on their Euro 2024 adventure. A team brimming with talent, a mix of seasoned veterans and rising stars, a nation yearning for glory. What do you think? Can France replicate their World Cup success on home soil? Can Mbappe shine under the bright lights? Who are your favorites for the tournament? Join the debate on social media, share your thoughts, and let's get ready for a summer of footballing drama.